And last question, Aljo, kind of playing up on the question earlier from Rodney, with the atmosphere we're living in right now, I know you've been a guy who's never been afraid to speak your mind on any number of subjects. I saw your interview yesterday with Aaron Ross, that are really good stuff there. Do you feel like it's important for people in your position to take to this platform and be able to speak about, the atmosphere we're living in with the protests? And we can't ignore what we're seeing all around us. And obviously, the UFC this weekend is a phenomenal distraction, kind of gets us back into a normal, sense of normalcy. But we can't ignore what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's a little bit of a shame when I see some fans saying, can you do me a favor and not ask questions to the fighters or the athletes about political stuff because we don't care about their opinions. We don't want to hear that. This is not that platform. If we want to hear that, we would turn to CNN or Fox or ABC, whatever the case may be. I do think it's very, very important. It's something significant that we should take upon ourselves to use the platform to inspire, motivate, and to just to preach being a good person, man. I think that's really what it comes down to. You don't got to get into I'm a leftist or rightist. I'm a Democratic or Republican. You don't have to get into that nitty gritty type of details with everything. But at the same time, I think to show that you do have a stance is very, very important, and to preach the good word of just being a good human being, just being a humanitarian, man. I look out for you the same way you look out for your brother, your mother, the same thing. That's kind of the way I was raised and kind of how I view and look at life. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people are sitting quiet about it. And again, you don't have to be that guy. I understand, like, you look back at like a Michael Jordan, his history, he got a lot of heat because he was one of those people who never used his platform to speak up for the minority community. And people kind of do a lot of dirt on his name for that. But in my opinion, that's solely up to you. He had a huge platform. Would it have been beneficial if he had done that? Yes, 100%. Just because of his reach and his influence, I think that could have made very, very pivotal waves. Maybe things don't change. Maybe things do change. We would never know because we never had the opportunity where he actually did that. But where I sit, man, I grew up in a neighborhood like that. I've had negative experiences with cops. I've had positive experiences with cops. I got friends that are cops today. I'm an FDNY hopeful. So I understand the camaraderie between cops where they always look out for one another. And I do think there's just a lot of things that need to be said. It's like an onion. There's so many layers that need to be peeled back in order to rightfully get to the core of this. And it stems back from 400 or 500 years ago with slavery, just from time and time again, man. It's been passed down. And this is a great country. I love this country. Unfortunately, I was born and raised here with my Jamaican roots intact, and it has a lot to offer. There are some things that can always be better. You go to other countries and there's a lot of things that we would not be fortunate and blessed with to have. But in this position where we are today, things could definitely use a lot of room for improvement. And I think we have to just peel back the layers and have a conversation. And they're tough conversations that not a lot of people are going to be empathetic and understand one another's. And that's the situation that we're having. There's a lot of friction because we are unable to pull ourselves back and look at the bigger picture and see each other's point of view from a different perspective, different lens, wear in their shoes for a day and see what it's like to be a black man. You would never know what that's like unless you are in this body, So I think it's a little unfair when people always try to downplay what certain people are preaching. And not every protester is right. Not every cop is bad. The same thing, Not every cop is bad, but some people are going out there and there's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes that need to be addressed, like the whole thing with like the bricks being staged or quote unquote staged. I don't know. I have no idea, but things just miraculously just popping up, and it's kind of like lighting the fuse or leaving the bait and hoping that someone takes the trap and really starts to go off and cause chaos in this country, and it's dividing us, So I hope we can figure out the reforms, educate and really retrain our police officers, getting people to understand that just because I grew up a different way and my lifestyle is different doesn't mean that you need to be afraid of me. I think at the end of the day, man, we all put our shoes on the same way, tie our laces, put our pants on, brush our teeth, and it's we all bleed the same. We all got that same beating muscle in our left chest, and I just think we're all the same, man. I think people need to realize that all these stuff, that how we tear each other down. And again, there's a lot to be said about the black community as well. Minority community, I think systematically we are oppressed, but at the same time, I think we need to take a little bit more of responsibility for our actions. Meaning, so if we get pulled over by a cop, not going crazy and creating a scene when, you know, we feel like we're wrongfully pulled over. This is something I deal with all the time. I still get pulled over, and if a cop doesn't know who I am, when they do find out who I am, my interaction is 100% a lot more politer and a lot nicer compared to when they just think I'm just some random black dude that they're pulling over, you know. So I do still conduct my way. Yes sir, no sir, hands on the steering wheel. Hey, may I go into my glove compartment to grab you my registration? May I go into my back pocket, sir, ma'am, to pull out my wallet? Yeah, we maybe might not feel that we have to do that because you feel like, oh, we're violating our rights because you wrongfully pulled me over. But I think if we take a little bit of responsibility for how we respond, we could diffuse the situation before it gets to that edge and that negative level, that point of no return where someone is taking another man's life because they have a badge on and they feel powerful enough that they could just sit on another man's neck or put him in a chokehold for X amount of minutes and take someone's life, you know. So that's where I said, man, I've had this tough conversation. I'm a family of 20 siblings, you know, so I was just on the phone this morning with my sisters letting them know, like, yo, we gotta figure out ways to do better. You know, we weren't raised like this. People look at me all the time. They say, how the hell did you come out of that family and get to where you are? And, you know, I thank God that, you know, I made some right decisions and my life could have went left real quick and I could have been another statistic. So I'm just fortunate for where I am. I'm blessed that the UFC has given me this opportunity to use this platform and to fight, make a living, and to provide for myself and really try to shape the future of my family and my future kids. And, you know, I think that's all you could do. You be the one that changes the revolving door going forward. Don't just sit on the carousel going around and around. You got to do something different to break the cycle.
Thank you, Aljo. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aljamain. That is all the time we have for you, sir. You are good to go.
Perfect.